Welcome to Just Our Opinion with Robin, Mike, and Ty. I'm Kamari.
I'm DJ.
I'm Dante.
I'm Maya.
And this is the Intern Takeover.
Tonight's topic, being in lust versus being in love. Why do so many young relationships fail?
Y'all ready? Let's go.
Pardon me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. They ain't working like me. I did this on my own. You asking where we been, huh? I don't know where to begin, huh? All this dirt on my skin. I just came here to win.
I know y'all ready for us to say what we got to say. And y'all been waiting for this for a while. But before we get started, we just got to do one thing. We got to do one thing as we do every time we come on the podcast.
What we gotta do?
Come on, let's turn them up right quick.
Okay. What we about to do, Kamari?
Come on, let's.
I don't know.
We about to let them know y'all ready.
What?
Share the page. Share the page. Share the page. Share the page. Share the page.
Share the page.
Share the page. Share the page.
Share the page.
Share the page. Share the page. Hold on, we about to run. Oh, I thought he was finna run it back on the DJ. I thought he was about to run it back. Y'all trying to turn him up a little too much.
You see, we got budget cuts. We're not free. We're not rappers or freestylers.
Well, so it's time to get into the topic of the show. And DJ, you want to remind him one more time?
Yeah. The topic is being in lust versus being in love. Why do so many young relationships fail?
Well, I guess I'll start us off since I've been doing a lot of the talking so far. But I would just like to say that I feel like it's a lot of adults watching this, and they would like for us to say it's lust a lot of the times. But I'm gonna have to disagree with that because I do feel like, you know, teenagers can fall in love because, you know, and a lot of times I don't want to say it fails because of that, but, you know, you can fall in love, but it's just knowing how to love and learning to love and seeing, you know, that type of love growing up. So I think when you know a certain thing and when you see a certain thing, it's kind of like you're a victim of what you saw or what you've known growing up.
I can agree to that. But the problem is, though, it's like usually with our crowd of people, if somebody feel like they falling in love with somebody, they attract the wrong people.
Right.
Like and some people will like the younger crowd, us, millennials, it's like it's really different because usually it's always the female.
Right.
Now that might sound but I'm just saying. Now, females, they are very sensitive, especially when it comes to something like this. They always fall for this type of dude.
You're not making it out of this alive.
I'm just saying. They'll fall for like the most disrespectful, like unfaithful dude that you could even find out anywhere. But then if it's somebody that'll approach them in any type of way that actually makes sense, all the qualities that they won't go for it.
And I think that's why it's like what you see and what you know. Because I think we live in a time like for us growing up now, it's kind of like toxic is the new cool. Like it's cool to be toxic.
That's fair.
Like it's cool to be a gangster. It's cool to like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's cool to be an internet thug and things like that. So I feel like it's kind of just like when you see something, right? Like you obviously gonna, I don't know, you're naturally going to be drawn to it when you see it if you're not able to, like, decipher yourself away from what you know and, like, you know, what you love, I guess.
That's fair, because, like, as people and all, we usually just, go off of our experiences, and, I mean, some people don't have experience. They just go off of movies, TV shows, what they grow up with, all types of different things. So, obviously, like, you can't help what you see. You naturally act on what you know. And so with the culture and all that stuff, if being toxic is the whole cool thing, then like of course you're gonna act that way because you don't know nothing else.
Right. I agree. I
Well,
agree.
we
I
have
can
a
second
comment
that.
here. It says, DJ, are you in love, son?
Oh my god.
Okay.
Are you in love,
Answer the
DJ? The
question.
people would like to know. The people would like to know, DJ. Are you in love?
Yes or no?
We're waiting. The world's watching.
Okay.
30,000.
Say the wrong
3,000 people.
All right, I got it.
It's gonna be embarrassing.
All right, so
And be honest.
what we
Be
need to
honest.
really do is just define.
Oh, he
What
he
lust-
dodging the question. Y'all. He running from the question. He trying to get technical. It's a yes or no question. He running from the question.
There needs
He-
to be
he running from it.
classification.
Ooh.
There are different kinds of love, and then there's also lust. It depends on which category on whether I could consider myself in love.
Okay.
So what exactly are you? What type of love like are you dealing with then?
We have another comment that says, is it puppy love?
Cause I don't know, DJ. You still ain't said yes or no. So you know, like you gave a little technical
swimming
answer,
around
which
it,
was
though.
cool, but like you still ain't yes or no. You know.
Everybody in the comments wants to know.
All right. Jeez. All right. So I already know that it can't be lust because I'm not just fully crazed on, circle and all that stuff. So with what I have to think of, I could say by definition probably yes. Mostly because I can appreciate both the like positives and negatives of my girlfriend and stuff. Like flaws and like if like and like there's a good balance of personality and like of course compatibility and stuff. So that's why I had to say by definition technically yes.
So okay, DJ, but I got a question for you because it's like I don't know. I feel like if it's by definition, do you really love that person? And I mean, it's okay to say no. Like
It sounds like a no.
Just keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? Because it do sound like no. Because you being real technical in your
It sounds like she's
and it ain't. And it's nothing technical about love at all. Love is the most untechnical thing ever.
Okay, I got you. Okay, fine. You know why I be doing all the technically stuff?
Let me hear.
It's mainly because my whole personal psyche is not used to any form of romantic feeling, so therefore I have to sugarcoat it for myself in order to properly get it out.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
We have a comment here that says, now he's breaking it down. So are you in love or not? It's okay to feel confused. We as adults don't know if we're in love or not.
Yeah, I'd say yeah. Screw it. Might as well.
You in love? You in love?
You know what? You know what? How about I put this on y'all now? How about I put this on y'all now? So actually, since let's just go off of you first off and
Okay.
foremost. Same question.
Yes. But I'll say this. In the beginning, because listen, I'm going to be real with y'all. Back then, I wasn't that dude to be messing with. And I'll keep it 100 with you. She know it now, and I'm going to stick to it. But, I mean, that's okay. That's okay, though. That's okay, though. That's okay, though. But it's like, because, you know, when you're young, you going through a bunch of different loops and phases anyway. So, really, it's like, you know, is this what I want? Or, you know, I might experience one thing here and another thing there. And I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm dipping and dodging, you know what I'm saying? And then that's just how I was going. But I'll say now, since I had got to the point where I felt like I could actually build, not saying it just because she on the show, but I feel like I came to a point where like I could actually build with somebody. And it was
Right.
different because I felt like the people I would be around, like, okay, even if I was trying to like really go for something, it was like everybody, like, cause this day and age, everybody just filled with drama. They want to be in something. They want to be seen.
Yeah.
And-
Toxic. Toxic.
and it's
Very
crazy
toxic.
because me, I'm really chill. I'm really laid back, and when I met Maya, it's like she wasn't known. Nobody knew who she was, but and it's crazy because she stuck out to me. And I tell everybody this: I'm a choir boy. I be singing. I sang all the time, and I know it was just one day in choir. I just glanced over and she was on her phone doing what she wasn't supposed to do, but I was running the class, so I was supposed to be big dog. And after that, kind of like it just sparked. And then as you have to build a friendship before you even think you can establish love at all.
Right. That's kind of why mine works. We were literally friends, and then over time, it just got to where it is now. Right. Like we only started dating for since May, but beforehand we were just friends, casual friends, close friends, best friends, stuff like that. So it was just a natural transition and stuff. Now let's try and figure out why these type of things don't end up happening for others.
Okay.
That's a good question. That's a good question. And as interns, I feel like we had a right to voice our opinion because we are the age group that's living this. So
yeah,
I think it's a big question because I feel like as teenagers we don't get enough credit upon the things that we feel and emotions that we feel, and we and a lot of times I feel like that's where that come in where you don't know because you want to feel like you don't know how to explain it or you don't know how to express it to somebody or the people around you because you don't know how they'll take it or if they'll shoot it down. Just and I'm not knocking down, the questions or the comments or anything, but if they ask DJ is he in love and they say or puppy love, you know what I mean? So it's kind of that kind of thing where it's downplaying it where it may not feel like that because for you in this moment it may be any and everything you want it to be, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard to really decipher the emotion that you feel as a teenager sometimes.
Understand that. And I feel like bouncing off what you said about showing it to the people around you with guys, most definitely. If you feel like you have a certain, a true genuine feeling towards some girl or whatever the case may be, your boys gonna always think it's you being soft or you being a sucker or something like that.
Right.
But they won't understand that because they don't have that feeling. They haven't gone through that. But I mean that's cool. But then also a lot of people they'll get discouraged, and then they'll shift their whole body language. They'll shift everything that they do to cater to this person.
Right.
But all because homies thinking you just tripping. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yep.
It's just that new edition song. You know how they all talk about you love her. What? It's the same. It's the same thing, really.
It's
masculine. It keeps
masculine
going on.
toxic masculinity. That's how I say it.
Right.
Toxic masculinity. That's really big. That's big.
Right.
Because because it's like in those situations, you'll get called a simp. You'll get called a simp for feeling some type of way about a girl when I don't know. I don't agree with that because I feel like if you like somebody, then you like them. Why you gotta hide it or fake it or sugarcoat it? Huh?
Why you gotta be a simp?
Right. Why you gotta be a simp for liking somebody? You know what I'm saying? That's for me. I feel like that's your boys downplaying you, hating on you because they ain't where you at or they don't got what you got. So that's when it comes for me. It's knowing you and you being able to know what you feeling and be secure in that. Secure in what you feeling because anybody could walk up to you and change the way you feeling any moment of the day. So you guys just gotta know exactly how you feel and who you are. I think that's big.
Okay, but why do people jump to the lust side of things, though? We talked about love for a little bit.
Oh,
Why
boy. Here we go.
Lust?
It's a whole thing. Well, given how most people are our age are more focused on, figuring out ourselves, who we want to be when we grow up, stuff like that. And instead of, not everybody, obviously, but some are focused more on having fun, doing this and that,
Circle.
Circle.
Right.
So.
Why y'all looking over there?
And you already know how that goes. There'd be drama after drama. Like that's how you get a bunch of different scenarios in TV shows, like 2 prom dates, ooh, stuff like that. So, and lust is just driven by.
Shout out to Ty.
Oh yeah, shout out to Ty.
With the 2 prom days. Shout out to Ty in the back.
But yeah, like stuff like that. That's how a bunch of drama get out. Like a bunch of arguments because you're not really paying attention to the person, more focused on circle. So that's one huge part of the lust side of things. Not to mention, there's so much media with romantic movies and all that stuff. More focused on the romance instead of on the relationship itself.
But is there anything wrong with lust though? Like when it comes down to when you're young, is there anything wrong with it though?
No, but there needs to be a good balance. Actually, here's my explanation. If you want a relationship, there needs to be a good balance. If you don't, that's up to you. But I ain't gonna tell you what to do.
We have a comment from Adrian. It says, "Love is a for sure thing, but lust is a doubt."
So and that's why I'm gonna jump in right quick off that comment because, Dante was just talking about how when you're around your boys and they make you feel a certain way about what you feeling. I think that's when lust come in because it's like they telling you like you ain't gotta, you like her or you soft, you a simp. You letting her get you right. So now you like, oh, I gotta act this way. And that's when that come in because your mindset is not allowing you to feel what you feeling 1000% because you worried about what everybody else would think. So I think that's when lust come in because, you not living your truth, I guess. Because you worried about what other people around you gonna think about how you feeling. So that's what I say about it.
This is why I'm glad I don't have too many friends.
But it's really like, I think that when that happens, it's like your friends are putting you in a box, right? And realistically, your friends are supposed to hype you up and build you to have this feeling about people, or not people, because that's the lust thing, about a certain person. So therefore, you can it builds your character,
right?
But them shooting you down, they not thinking about it. They in their own mind. They being selfish with it. So really, it goes all into they try to bring you along for their journey,
right?
And it prohibits you from doing what you want to do,
right?
And how you want to be your own person,
exactly.
And a lot of people get they get all flustered with it because they not trying to lose their mans and nothing like that. They trying to stick together,
right?
But not everybody sees it in that same light.
I agree. Yeah, you definitely hit something right there where you talking about how people don't want to lose their friends. People don't want to stand on what they believe in or how they feeling because you worried about people switching up on you or changing because of what you're doing. But at the end of the day, that's cool, but you cannot let nobody else box you in, right? Because if you let somebody else box you in, then they might as well put some strings on you and then put you and then hold you in that box and make you move around like a puppet because now they got you where they want you and you doing whatever they say. I could never understand how you could stop or you could break up with somebody or stop liking somebody because of what your friend said or how they made you feel about a situation. They not the one in the relationship. You is.
If your friends are doing all that, are they really your friends though?
Thank you. That's a good question.
Maybe you need to make some better life.
Right. You don't need them not your friends at the end of the day.
Yeah, they trying to orchestrate everything for their bubble, and I mean that ain't your problem what they want to do.
Right.
This your life.
Right.
They don't control you.
Right.
Exactly.
If you feel like you want to be tied down to one person and really make it work, you do that.
Right.
But also, if you want to go out there and get a whole bunch of circle wherever you can get it, different area codes,
that's also
do
your
that.
choice.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So,
Right. And this is a topic that's very based upon you, who you are as a person. Cause it's if you know what you are and you know what you stand for, you know how you feel, then you shouldn't worry about what other people around you think. Cause it's if your friends is telling you you should feel a certain way, you should think a certain way, that's a red flag. And them shouldn't be your friends. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be able to step away from that situation because that's going to hinder how you move in the future. Because it's when you step away from love and lust, when you get to a business decision and you trying to bring your homeboys in and your homeboy's like, well, bro, I don't really think you should do that. Then they go out and do the same thing. Or let's take it even back. If your homeboy get into a relationship and he start acting the way he told you not to act, then it's like, what now, right? So I think it's a lot.
We have a comment that says you can only live your life for you and not for others.
That's true. That's one of the biggest things that you need to keep in mind, because at the end of the day, it's your life.
Right.
You only got one, so you got to make the most of it and live it your way.
Exactly.
I think I got another thing that could end up being a problem. Lack of communication.
That's big. Communication is big. It's big.
Okay.
That's big.
Because this is how people end up being like, oh, I think I'm falling out of love with this person. No, you're just not paying attention to this person.
Right.
You're not listening to this person.
Right.
You're not fully invested into what the person talking about, how and like your relationship and like your compatibility in whatever you're trying to do. And even if it's just lust, even if it's just circle, you need to be able to say something.
Right.
Because then, I mean, you're not going to get nothing in that regard either.
Right.
I feel like that's why a lot of relationships really fall flat anyways, because really our generation is very sensitive. So it's like the second anything like kind of is out of place for them, they'll cut everything off right then and there. Or it's like they'll go to their homegirl, go to their homeboy, they'll say what they gotta say, and the next thing you know, it's like, all right, I'm going back anyways. Knowing it's bad for me. It could be bad for you like the whole way around, whether it's communication or anything else under the sun. Some people, they just don't care. Right. They're like, I'm gonna try to make it work, but it won't make sense though. Right. And it don't make sense because what's the point? Okay, I can understand if like you've been together for a while, you're going through some issues, you battle through that, cool. That's why a lot of people are married. Married people go through that same thing day to day and they figure it out. But with us, since we so young, we don't do that. They just be like, oh, okay, on to the next one. Right. Who else gonna give me what I want? They don't really care about what the other person may want sometimes.
Don't nobody want to put in the work.
Right. So it's like, come on now.
Right,
But are we really looking for that though? We're still young. Ain't nobody got time for all of that.
Well, yeah. But
You want to expound upon that?
you want to.
What are you looking
What
for?
do you mean by that?
Let me
Like
know
how all
now.
these people are in college doing whatever they want to do. Like, are you really trying to stay with somebody and get a good relationship through your college? Or are you trying to live that college experience?
But could you argue that college experience is an experience filled with lust?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Now, are you being stereotypical about it with like all
That's
the
it,
movies?
yeah, because that seems very movie like.
Okay,
That is very
That drives
stereotypical.
a bunch of
I'm just saying.
That
stuff.
is.
Now, it sound crazy, but that's not always the case. Because some people find their person in college.
Yep.
Or they multiple people, or they multiple parties, little, you know what I'm saying, all the frats, you know. Oh, I can't say what is that, but you know. But people be expanding out of college, so I can see where you're going with that. But love is blind, so it hits you from anywhere.
Right.
Realistically,
That is
so if it
true.
hits you in college, it hits you in college. But it's how you act on it, because you can be in love, you can fall in love, but depending on
It's
how
gonna
you,
be the right time.
yeah, that's true. But depending on how you act upon it, can shift how all of that unfolds. Because you can feel like this the person and you don't do nothing, and then you just wasting your years basically.
Right.
'Cause you could be watching them, you know, all this time, you having your feelings, and then say all this time you don't say nothing or you don't make your feelings truly be known, and then that person finds someone else. You're gonna be sick to the core,
Right.
and then it's gonna make you feel like, oh, I can't find my own love, yada yada yada, and then that's why people be going out there where you talked about they just doing whatever in college. They just go out willy nilly because they gonna be like, oh, I can't find what I want, so why don't I just be like, you know, find me a hot and ready here, you know what I'm saying? Give me a little something over there.
Well, we have another comment that says that married people look for other people when things go wrong instead of working it out. Divorce is too easy.
So with that, I think that's just communication at the end of the day, because you decided to create a union with this person. So you should work that out regardless. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it was a point in time where this person was the person that you wanted to spend the rest of your life with. So a minor setback, I've always heard a minor setback is a turnaround for a major comeback. So I think that, like, like I said, I think it's just about putting in the work, because you can't be so easy to like give up. You know what I mean? Because I feel like when you give up, did you really give everything that you could? Did you really work for it? Did you really commit to this person the way you said you would? And so, and that's just that's just how I feel about it, because when you want to marry somebody, that is a commitment for the rest of your life. Like, that's saying that me and you will be together forever. I think the vows go like through sickness and health, and through bad times and good times. So you can't, and that's just like, divorce is, to me, it's like, it's an unrealistic thing, because it's like, you can't, like, when stuff get bad, you can't run. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be able to like sit through the bad just as you can in the good, because then you're not living the way you should be, because you only expecting for good, and that's unrealistic.
There's not too much good in the world, but even though there's like a ton of bad, the bad may be more noticeable, but there's a ton of good, no matter what the situation is.
Exactly.
And you can't just give up like that. You got to be able to be able to toughen up.
But if you're married and you feel like you in love with this person, right?
Okay.
Y'all had so many ups and some downs, all of that. But if the person you feel like that you are in love with, that you've been loving since however long, and the other side is doing things behind your back, all types of lust and stuff like that, can you really try to come back from that bad? Now, some people are different, but realistically, if you hear a married couple talking about one side of the marriage is cheating, 9 times out of 10, they not just gonna bounce back and be like, oh, we'll get through this. Right. Especially if it's like a multi-time offense. Because if you get over one time, if it's happened multiple times, come on now, let's get realistic. There's probably no coming back from that. Right. But it depends on everything that's going on.
And I feel like that's like the most extreme example, right? Because it's like when that happens, like it hurt, like it do hurt. And, I don't really know to speak on like what to do in that situation, because I feel like it's for each his own. Because some people stay through it because love is like, it can battle through, it can weather any storm. I feel like, it can weather any storm, but with that right there, that's just for each his own. You know what I mean? If you can't take the hurt and the trust, the heartbreak and stuff like that, then you do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel like, going back to what DJ said about there's a lot more, there's just as much good as there is bad. And I agree with that, because I feel like there's a lot of good within the bad, because you grow from the bad and you become better because of the bad. So with that being said, it's like, is the bad really bad? Because when you get down to the root of it, you become better because of the bad, and you can grow from the bad to an extent.
That's actually an interesting point, because like, with all the bad that can happen to you and stuff, it makes you stronger no matter what. Right. And I mean, if it don't, then like there's people for that,
right,
and like loved ones, peers,
right,
doctor, all of that stuff. But then if you can go through it and stuff, that just makes you stronger. You build your character, and it'll help you be able to get through life more. Especially if there's more good in balance with that, because because there always has to be balance. Because if it's too much good, you'll feel like something's wrong here,
Right.
or
Right.
if there's too much bad, and you're like nothing can happen in my life and stuff. So, that's just how it is.
We have another comment here that says some people have bad examples of love, starting with their parents.
Yeah, that's another point.
That's good.
Another point.
And I had opened up with that, like kind of like what you see and what you grow up seeing is kind of like your understanding of how you live your life, and it's just
Right.
like a natural result of who you become, basically. And when that's all you know, that's kind of
That can mess
all
up
you
with
can
your
do.
brain.
right. That's all you can do. You know what I'm
mess
saying?
up
You
with
don't know no
your
better.
perception
Right.
of it. And
Right,
stuff.
and then for some people, that can be
Traumatizing.
not traumatizing, but that can be what they think is the right way to do something. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know no other way. It's just pure ignorance because you don't know. So you
Ignorance
like
is bliss.
right? Like I done seen my parents do this all my life, and you gonna tell me this is wrong? Like you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So
Especially if they still together.
right. You know what I'm saying?
But it also can be flipped though, because really, if you see your parents arguing all the time, and you probably think that say like your dad mistreat your mom or just talk to her any type of crazy type of way, you might think that I'll never treat a woman like that. But you could also have that mindset,
Right.
but it won't happen.
Right.
And that's the sad thing about it, because it's like with the people today, I do understand where they will probably get it from their parent, but it's also it's environmental. So you go to school and you at work and you see all this relationship stuff going on. You just might be around a certain amount of people, and you just gonna think, okay, you make those type of connections. Because
Exactly.
realistically, if you are around, say, your best friend, like most of the time throughout your days, right, and you see them like kind of being too aggressive with a female, you're probably gonna be aggressive too.
Right.
And it's all because you're around them so much and you see it so often. It's just like a parent effect. But really, when you're younger, yeah, you can get it from there. But when you get to like the middle school, high school age, you pushing it to the early adulthood, and you around it like that, it kind of makes you feel like, okay, I'm at the point where I'm actually gonna start doing this, you know, and you go for what you are around the most. So if you around your friends' relationships the most, that's what you're gonna attract to, regardless of what it is.
Yep.
And then also, if you feel like you're the person that don't have friends or you don't like people, you're gonna attract to what you see at home, and that's fine. Or if you want to get even farther back, some people watch a lot of movies. It's all the same thing. It's just really what you are accustomed to seeing on a day-to-day basis is where you're going to adapt and get your characteristics for within relationships.
People are products of their environment, and that's the honest to God truth. You are really a product of your environment. You know what I'm saying? And it's like no avoiding it, because humans are naturally, they naturally adapt to the things around them. You know what I mean? Like even if you go to a scientific level, or you go to like just as simple as what you saying. Like if you see something, like you see your homeboys doing a dance all the time, you gonna do that dance because you didn't see them do that dance every day. And it's just like what you see can really control and determine the person that you become. I don't know, I ain't even gonna say that, but I want to say like the natural things that you do as the person you are.
Okay.
That's true.
So what do you think is the main reason why today the younger crowd have a problem with staying in love? Because they can fall in love easy, but staying there seems like it's a bigger problem than anything else. And that's why conversing to love, why people just go out willy-nilly and just be throwing themselves out there to whoever.
That's because we live in such a temporary world. Everything is so temporary. Everything is so right now, and everything just gets better and better. You know what I'm saying? Like even if you look at technology, or you look at materialistic things, or you look at social media, everybody is trying to outdo things. Everything has to, if something gets boring, it's like, okay, well, let me move on, which is that idea that you talked about earlier. Like, if I don't like something, I got to move on. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, and that mainly comes down to short attention span. And like if you so used to everything being so quick and temporary, and it can just go on real quick, no nothing major, nothing. That's what you're gonna be accustomed to.
Right.
And then when you get into something long term, it'll be like, well, this is going slow. This is kind of boring. I just, you know what? I'm gonna go back to having fun. I don't got time for this. That's a main problem there.
Right.
Not willing to commit because they're not used to.
Exactly.
They're not used to it.
Then you gotta think social media plays a huge factor on
That is a
relationships, too.
huge
That's a
factor.
huge
of it.
factor.
Because if you
I
really think
agree.
about it, like a lot of people have their favorite celebrities, and favorite
Right.
celebrities might have this going on with somebody and say that
That's big.
this happened.
That's big.
And since you're such a big fan of
Right.
one person, it's like, oh, okay, well, that changed everything. That's why.
big.
That's why really that city's girl trend little nonsense that was going on was ridiculous. Because
big.
everybody felt, well, not everybody, every female felt like, oh, I'm gonna use this man for this, and that.
Time
But
to have
then,
a hot girl summer.
Right.
right.
And
It's crazy. It's just real crazy to think about that because at the same time, these would be the same people that would be like, oh, I miss that 90s love, 80s love. First of all, you weren't born no 80s and 90s, so you really don't know what the love is. Watching Poetic Justice 3 times is not telling you what love is. I'm sorry.
Right.
Love basketball, none of that. It don't tell you. That's
right.
not how that works. I'm
Right.
sorry. But it's just so crazy because the hot girl summer little trend, then they made it into city boys. So now it's like both sides would be like, oh, okay, you trying to use me for this, and this. City boys basically trying to steal your heart
Right.
and manipulate you too, and still, but try to basically break you up before the girl get what they get out you. And it's crazy because people will want something so bad, but then contradict themselves.
Right.
It's like, come on now. I should never have to see somebody talking about hot girl summer. I'm about to get this done. He about to pay for this, get bundles, lashes, all that. And then you broke it down when he up out of there and not trying to go for that. Like, that doesn't make no sense to me. But they do it.
Yeah.
And it's just it's all because of social media. That's what they drive and push. And it mainly comes from Instagram. Like, Instagram is like the source of all of that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
But
And like speaking on that celebrity thing you said, like if you see somebody with all this money, everything, everything you want, every goal you trying to set for yourself, and they got everything, right? They got everything.
You want to be like them.
You want to be like them, right?
Right.
But they got everything, and they get in these relationships, and every relationship they get into is temporary. So you like, if this person is a millionaire, billionaire, and they getting in temporary relationships, then obviously they doing something right because they got all this money, they wealthy. So it's like, why wouldn't I fall victim to that idea or that same little thought process? Or not even saying that's their thought process, but why wouldn't I fall victim to that if I'm trying to reach a certain status in my life, a certain financial status, a certain way of living? You would naturally fall victim to that if you see that all the time. Like, well, little baby can't stay in a relationship and he getting all this money, he getting all these shows, he on top of the charts.
He also having all those kids.
Right.
Don't nobody want that.
well, I mean, yeah, that sounds like it's crazy to think about, but then at the same time, it's like, now this is not just celebrity, this is everybody. They'll post their highlights. They'll post the best part of a relationship or like going on a trip or anything of the sort with this person, but you'll never see nothing negative. And if you do see something negative, it's not when they're in a relationship and making it work. It's when it's over.
When it's
when
over.
they slaughtering the person on social media. They're saying why they better than this, better and all that. And then next thing you know, 2 weeks later, it's somebody else right there. Another highlight. And it continues over time.
And that gives people the false perception that everything is sunshine and rainbows in a relationship.
Right.
And it's not. But that's all they see. They only see positive. And then, it's over? Well, something must have been wrong with them.
Right.
And to another thing, it's like seeing like you said, when people get out of relationships, they bash this person. Why would somebody want to go through that? Like Mike said, like, who got time for that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
You wasting your energy.
Right. If you see somebody break up and then they get on here and they bashing. And I feel like a lot of things that's stopping a lot of relationships from happening is like,
The fear of that happening.
the fear of that happening, and people on social media like clash. Like, females are always attacking men, and men is always attacking females. Like, it's just like this ongoing thing where it's like, I mean, starting the hashtag black men don't cheat. Why is that such a popular trend? Like, why do we have to post that and stand on that? Like,
Because they out here cheating, trying to cover it up. saying that they're not doing.
Well,
What? No.
And then there's the flip
Black
side
men
that
cheat.
actually don't, and then they all get clumped together, and then
But I mean, like, if a black man is always getting, I ain't even gonna say a black, I'm gonna just say a man, period. If a man is always getting looked down upon or spoken down upon based on because he's a man, right? Because he's a man, he can't control himself. Because he's a man, he cannot do this. Because he's a man, he cannot hold himself together. That's just unfair. And like, as a man or as a person, it's like, well, if you think this of me, then why don't I just show you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like-
And that's not fair. And that's not the right thing to do. But it's like, at the end of the day, like, you know, I know me, you know, as a man, it's like, you know, I want to feel good and feel praised and feel like I can do any and everything. And I don't want to feel like I have to be looked at more closely because I'm a man. That's just unfair.
yeah, they're like, I imagine the type of women that be like, all men are trying to be like in a relationship, like, oh, I love him. Oh, this is the greatest thing ever. We're gonna get married, and this is the best part of my life. Break up. All men are trash.
right.
Right.
But it's crazy because that realistically that make men seem like they can't be vulnerable to nobody.
Exactly,
And it's
exactly.
crazy because it's just like when they say like men can't cry and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
because we got feelings.
Right.
So when we
Yeah,
express
yeah,
that, it shouldn't be no
right,
issue.
Right, we're seen as soft or like being a wuss or something like that, and then that builds because we're supposed to do the expectation of what people want us to what a man's supposed to be like.
Right.
And like we can't cry, none of that stuff. All those emotions build up, and then eventually we explode.
Yep. A man, a lot of times men don't know how to express themselves. Like, a man don't know how to express his anger. So his anger becomes expressed through action because he can't express it through his words in an intelligent way for him to say what it is that's on his heart. So it's like, I'm going to show you how angry I am. And you know what I mean? Or I'm going to show you that I'm not getting the love that I want. Instead of coming to them and telling them, because like you say, if a man express himself or feel like, you know, like he needs some reassurance from his woman, it's like, well, my man unconfident. I don't need no unconfident man. I gotta find me a man who can always be there, always do this and always do that for me. Well, you know, men are human, and humans go through ups and downs, and humans have emotional shifts. So a man should be able to feel like he can express himself whenever he wants to, about whatever he wants to, no matter what it is. And you know, Maya, what is your take?
I think I'm gonna read this comment.
All right.
It says wait, let me send it. It says you young people are speaking about the human condition that we as humans have fallen.
Yeah, dude. I mean, we've kind of just messed up down the line as human beings, and then here we are as people. Clearly not the best, but I mean, we gotta do what we gotta do, try and make it better and stuff. So
We also have another comment that says, okay, I say because of their upbringing that they were taught to not be emotional. Men should express their feelings as well.
And that's big because emotional incarceration, you know, emotional stress is real. It's a real thing, and it can really like change the way a person acts or the way a person does things. Like, if you really get to the root to a lot of things that people do, that men do when it comes to like anger, or when it just comes to, you know, things that they do that are wrong, it's underlying emotional issues that they don't know how to deal with. And you know, as a man, you know, you like, men are not taught to be openly emotional, and I think that's what we get into right now, because a woman can cry all she want. You know, every 90s R&B song, a woman crying about heartbreak, crying about this, crying about that, you know. But a man, like, I think for me, I can respect somebody and a man who's able to be vulnerable and cry. Like, I think it's okay to cry.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just-
because for me personally, I like recently, probably like a while ago, I've started more showing my emotions, because I knew, like, I bottled up my emotions for so long. I literally just it became numb anytime I'd feel anything and stuff because I couldn't really express it. So I'd just sit there and just be in my mind all the time. I usually am anyway, but since I'm introverted and stuff, I'm in my mind all the time. And then add emotional baggage and not getting my emotions out, and it's just a whole minefield up in
Right. You just chasing your tail in your head. You just chasing your tail the whole time because you don't know what to do with this stuff. You can't leave it in your head because it's eating you alive. So you just don't know what to do with it. So when people don't know what to do, they panic. And when you in a situation where you can't figure out a solution, because people are natural problem solvers. People look for solutions. People need solutions in order to survive. And so if they can't find a solution, then they just gonna panic, and that's when stuff happens. That's when, your emotions just get the best of you.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they try to find that release, and that sometimes that's probably the hardest part. Cause I know my release, like I would, sometimes I play my little Trey songs, go in the shower, sing my little heart out,
right.
Some tears in there, you know what I'm saying? I'll keep 100, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is like, since I know I'm in the shower, and if I'm crying, I'm really letting the water, hit me and everything. So I know they're there, but even though I'm acting like somebody watch me, but then they can't see. But really, I know a lot of the times though, when stuff like that happens, they'll do things that it will really hurt themselves, but at the same time, they don't know how to really control it. Because I know,
so people become myself, like drug addicts and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
personally, I wasn't that. I'll say that I didn't really have these problems until like early in high school. But early in high school, it was like if I was having this type of issue, because usually, it would be like dealing with one individual, okay. But then, since I'm having all these issues in my mind, I don't really want to express to this person because I don't want to feel weak. Right. I don't want to feel like that. If I come to this person that's supposed to be my person, that they gonna look at me sideways and like, what are you talking about? And then my release was going to other people. And I'm not saying just talking to other people. I was going to other people.
Right. If you find something that you're not getting, I think like you're saying, like if you can't go to your person and tell them, right? And I didn't mean to cut you off, but like I just want to throw this out there real quick and I'll let you have the floor back. But if you can't go to your person and when you talk to them, you feel like they gonna look at you differently. If you find somebody that's gonna openly accept you for the way you feeling, like you're gonna be even more vulnerable with that person than you are with your actual person because you
can vent.
Right, and you find that satisfaction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. And that's kind of how I felt. But I wasn't looking for no other relationship. Right. I was out there. I'll admit it. And I didn't care. But my thing was, now men are really tricky with this because when it comes to like lust and they want to cheat and all this stuff, we get sloppy.
Right.
I'll admit. I've been sloppy plenty of times. And I didn't care. I just let it ride. But some people like them not caring, being nonchalant, they get a kick out of that. Because I'll admit, when it was me and I was out there, I was having fun.
Right.
Even though I was taking that risk of, getting caught up in all these rumors about me that I didn't care if it was true or not, that was my release. And I was fine with that. But then as you progress and get older, I didn't feel that way no more. I had to get back in my little box and I was tightened up. But a lot of people now still to this day, like I'm 19, I'm about to be 20. There's people that's older than me that's still probably around age, like maybe like 23, stuff like that. They'll still do all these childish acts that I used to do, but probably worse. And they won't even try to make no change to it. They'll just keep going, attacking it. And then they won't even open up to even find real love because they so worried about, lustful actions, circle, throw the drug in there, drinking in there. Right. And it's more factors leading up to it. And it's crazy because they don't get that chance to open up and try to really commit to a single person, all because of one incident. Because me, I was at that point. I had said to myself, I'm not saying, like I said, if she wasn't here, I'll still say this. If it wasn't for her, I would be thrown around right now to this day. Swear to God, I made a vow to myself, and I said, if this don't work right here, it ain't happening to me. Straight up. I was going to be out there, and I wouldn't have cared. Really, I said it. That's how it's gonna be.
Anyways, we have a comment from Robin. It says, would you say that lust can be an emotional release as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where
And why?
that's where cheating comes in, because it's like you trying to find that fix, that what's the word I'm looking for?
Seductive.
No. It's
where it like pushes it
substitution.
away. Like where it pushes that emotion that you're dealing with away for a moment, right?
Like it's basically a distraction.
Yeah, it's a distraction from what you're feeling. You know what I'm saying? If you can find any little distraction that'll stop that feeling from eating you alive, just a little bit, then that'll be that thing, and that's lust can be that thing,
And it's basically addiction.
right, and it
Then what
becomes
do you
an
do when it
addiction.
comes back? You just gonna go lust out again?
You release.
and that's how people get addicted, because lust becomes their release.
Just like how like smoking can be a release, drinking can be a release, playing on the casino, just anything can be a release, and it can really just if it's repeated, if it's an addiction, it can just get terrible, because too much of something is just it's not good.
I feel like if it's an emotional release, if your release is to release, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You do what you gotta do, man. I'm just saying, if somebody gotta help you, hey, by all means, do what you have to do. Don't hold yourself back. Don't fight that. Do what you have to do.
You
Okay?
wouldn't want to fight that though. You gonna be out here catching something.
He about to catch a case.
It's your release. It's your life, and that's how you want to live it. Would
better
I do that personally? Back then, probably. Now, no, not as much. But I'm saying, like, that's how people gets down. Especially. I mean, let's keep it real, people. I get that the young crowd might, they be out there, but their parents not know better. We know better. If we being realistic, most of these parents been out there, getting it in. That's why they
Future
kids like this.
they
now.
used to
They
belong
still
to the
out there.
streets.
belong to the streets.
Belong to
Say
the
it again.
streets.
Belongs to the street.
They
And,
out
and,
there.
and, and no, and they had it,
Out there.
and they had to be very, very like what's the word I'm looking for, like strategic about what they did, because it wasn't no technology, wasn't none of that.
Right. You
They
can
had to
get
be
caught
very strategic.
They was talking real game back then. All you gotta do was send a text. They had to be up in their face.
They had they little things calling to the house phone. Grandma
Right.
picking up, mama
Right.
picking up.
All on the
They
wall,
running to the
playing with
phone, man.
cord.
They not
Right.
playing.
Is Candace home?
Stop playing. they did what they needed to do. So
Exactly.
it like they want the mile and then some.
Right. Because now you could do a thirst trap. You could be like, you go on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Post you a little picture. You know what I'm saying? And
Send you a
then
little text.
right.
So
They get that like it.
Copy
They
and paste.
got-
Copy and paste.
They out there. And sometimes,
Everything was link.
Right. And sometimes I know for a fact people was out there on Google trying to find little quotes and stuff just to say something sweet, and they thought they was the man when you're not. Because if anybody else do it, I'm sure there'd be one girl with like 4 dudes on her line. And they all going on Google like, what's the sweetest thing to say? And they all saying the same thing. You're going to look crazy. But also, if it worked, you feel like you the man though. So then it's like, come on now. Am I really not slick?
Right.
But that's how you know that with us, it's a lot easier to find ways to get the circle.
Right.
If we had to go through what most of them older folk, old heads, had to go through, I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't be doing this. I guarantee it.
Right.
Because they can't talk a good game. They'll get nervous. They'll freeze up. Oh, because she's so pretty, you're going to look at her in the face and look all crazy.
now you don't
You
even.
think I was gonna walk up to a girl? I'm 5'6" right now. I was little back then. I'm not. I wasn't walking up to nobody. I'm like, how you doing? No, it wasn't happening. So that's why you gotta shoot that text. Get it how you get it, man. I'm telling you.
Well, we're coming up on time, so we have to do our final thought.
Okay. I'll say ladies
start?
first. I'll say ladies first.
Yeah, ladies first.
Ladies first.
I
You barely
wouldn't.
said
I would
anything.
not.
Hey, nah, you got to.
Come on, ladies first.
Let's get it.
Well, my final thoughts are: it all depends on how you were grown up, how you were raised, because you don't know no better, really.
Right.
Go ahead, take it away.
Okay. I guess that's my cue. So I feel like that in this day and age, really, kids or young adults, they they still trying to find themselves, and it's really difficult to find yourself and you don't have no sense of direction. So really, if you are in a crazy environment and you trying to figure out what's your path, it'll be difficult because you got so many different routes to really figure out what you can do to better yourself or how you should handle a certain situation with love, or if you want to go the lust route. Now, really, take your time. Don't try to rush nothing. If you're really gonna be serious about it, be serious about it, and just let it flow, let it happen. But if you want to, do anything else, be smart about it. Mm-hmm. But do what you gotta do.
I guess I'll go next. And y'all have already said a bunch of stuff I was already gonna say, so let me try and say something. All right. Well, bottom line is, if you're going lust route, please make sure you know what you're doing. Please, it is too easy to do it now. It is way too easy. You can make an OnlyFans. You can go on Twitter. You can go on Instagram, Snapchat. Just make sure that you know what you're doing, okay? Especially if you're in a whole relationship and trying to do this stuff, you need to make sure to be strategic. Plan it out. Make sure that there is no possible way for your partner to know if you're in a relationship and still trying to do this stuff. But if you're in a relationship, just don't do it. Make sure that you can bond with your partner. You're compatible. You have enough, like a person, positive, negative. You can balance each other out. And just bottom line, just be faithful and stuff. And just, if it gets hard, just, don't chicken out. Just make sure to do what you got to do and make sure that you can have a strong relationship and stuff.
So I guess I'll end this off since I started this. I would just say my final thought is to just be you. And with that being said, being you means making any decision that is best for you. And nobody can make those decisions for you. Nobody can suffer those consequences for you. Nobody can, just change what you do. And so I would just say, and when it comes to being you, just be you, real as much as you can, emotionally, in everything that you do. When it comes to your relationships, or if you going through the lust route, if that's being you, then be you.
Yeah.
And you cannot judge somebody for being them. Mm-hmm. And there is always a better way to do things, but as long as you are being you and you are living in your truth, then that's all that matters. So I would just say, people are who they are because of what they know and what they learn through what they go through. So from that is the end of our show. Thank you. We are the interns of Just Our Opinion.
We ain't getting a spinoff, so you better enjoy it.
Yep. And you know what I'm saying? I know we turned the podcast up today. I'd just like to say, thank you to everybody, and thank you to everybody that watched, and
we're very anxious.
Everybody that tuned in.
Yep. Sorry for snitching on your kids too, because that's how I get down for real. So just know that right now.
Yeah. There gonna be issues.
So
don't do it.
Thank you. It's Just Our Opinion. This is the interns edition. We out. Peace.
Just Our Opinion with Robin, Mike, and Ty is available on YouTube, Instagram, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, Amazon Music, Facebook, and many more. Join us live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. or listen to us wherever you enjoy podcast. And please like, share, and follow.